It's 2 in the morning, the house is quiet, the city's asleep, but you're wide awake. And you're not awake because of a noise or a nightmare. You're awake because of an idea. An idea so big and clear, so powerful. It feels more real than a pillow that's under your head. Maybe it's a business or a book or an event that you've been wanting to do, or even a complete reinvention of your life. And in that moment, in the dead silence, you honestly feel like you could really do this thing. Like you could do anything. Then the morning comes. The noise comes back. The world wakes up. The doubts, the responsibilities. And you look around holding this fragile but brilliant thought. And you realize that you're completely and utterly alone. There's no one that you could really tell that would just get it like you do. No blueprint, no guide. No mentor there showing you the way. This is the starting line for most creators. And you're not imagining it. Studies show that 40 to 50% of all entrepreneurs struggle with deep feelings of isolation. And for women, especially those juggling motherhood and careers, the feeling can be even more intense. This is why we have been seeing countless skilled women leave the workforce in the tens of thousands, often because the lack of support and the immense pressure just becomes too much. If you've ever felt that way, this is for you. If you have a dream that feels way too big and your support system seems way too small, or is non-existent, then you need to hear this. The journey doesn't start when you find support. It starts when you become your own. If you're new here, my name is Dia. I'm a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur, and I help people build systems, reset their habits, and create a life that actually works for them. If you're trying to get your life together for real, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. The feeling of being alone with the big idea, it's a very specific kind of emptiness. It's not that you just don't have cheerleaders. It's that you have these very real, heavy barriers pinning you down. On the outside, it looks like you're just starting. But on the inside, it's like a constant, brutal fight. Recent studies show that this is not just in your head. Well over half of all founders reported feeling burnt out, and a staggering 80% of them dealing with high stress, and a huge majority of them also battling with anxiety. This isn't a personal failure. It's what happens in a high pressure but low support situation. This internal battle is usually fought on 3 different fronts. First, there's the fear. And it's not just one fear, it's like a whole family of them. But the fear of failure is normally the biggest one. What if I pour my heart and my time into this and it just falls apart? That question alone can freeze you. But then there's also the fear of success. What if it works? How will my life change? Can I even handle this? And then there's the fear of judgment. What will they think? What will my parents think? My partner, my friends who know you as the stable one. You picture their confused faces and their well-meaning but dismissive comments, and you just start to shrink. Second, there's the guilt. For a lot of women, it shows up as mom guilt, that nagging voice telling you that any time spent on your dream is time stolen from your family. But it's a universal feeling, really, a kind of life guilt. You feel guilty for wanting more when you have a decent job. You feel guilty from taking energy and time away from your partner. You feel guilty for not just being happy with the life that everyone expects you to love. That guilt is a powerful anchor, convincing you that your dream is selfish and not essential. And third, there's the slow, quiet disappearance of your identity. You spent years being an employee or a manager, a parent, a spouse. These roles are important, but they can be like weeds slowly growing over you until you can't even see yourself anymore. You look in the mirror and you see the role, but not the person. When a new dream pops up, it feels like it belongs to somebody else. Someone younger, braver, richer, with less to lose. You've gotten so used to being what you are for others that you have forgotten who you are to yourself. These 3 things, fear, guilt, and identity loss, create the perfect storm to do nothing. You feel alone, and every voice in your head is telling you to just stay put. Be safe. Don't rock the boat. Now, when you're facing all of this, the most common piece of advice you'll hear, you should find a mentor. People say it with a confident little nod, like they just handed you the keys to the kingdom. And let's be real, it's some of the most infuriating and sometimes useless advice you can get when you're starting from scratch. Finding a mentor isn't like going to pick up groceries. The whole idea assumes you already have access to a network of successful people who are eager to help a newcomer, or a ton of money laying around to hire somebody, even if you did find them, that can help you get there fast and actually know what they're talking about. For someone started out with no connections, no money, no track record, and a dream that still feels a little half-baked, that's a total fantasy. It's like telling someone stranded in a desert to find some water. Really? I hadn't thought of that. The reality is, the people you want as a mentor are incredibly busy and expensive, and their inbox is a war zone. They protect their time like a fortress, and they're looking to invest that time into someone who has momentum, who's already got some momentum. They want to back a winning horse, not teach a horse how to walk. On top of that, the hunt for a mentor can become a great sounding excuse for not starting. You tell yourself, I can't begin until I have a mentor, I have some type of guidance. So you spend weeks sending LinkedIn messages that get ignored, going to networking events that feel pointless, and just waiting, all while your dream sits on the shelf collecting dust. The search for a mentor becomes your new dream, replacing the actual work. And here's the even bigger truth. A bad mentor is so much worse than no mentor at all. The wrong mentor might give you advice on what worked for them 10 years ago. Ooh, child, I know I'm getting old. I gotta readjust myself. Ooh, had my legs crossed. Like, it took me up out of here. With their specific skills and their luck and their network. And that could be totally wrong for you. That might even push their own fears on you, or steer you in the wrong direction, or steer you towards something more safe. Even Walt Disney's own brother, Roy, told him making Snow White was a terrible idea that would bankrupt him. Good thing he didn't listen, right? Focusing on just finding a mentor just reinforces this dangerous idea that the answer is out there. It makes you feel like you're not ready, that you need someone else's permission to start. It keeps you waiting. But the very first mentor you need is not out there. It has to be you. The moment you start looking for someone to come and save you, to help you get this thing started, is the moment you can finally start. It's 2026. We don't have the same barriers to entry as people did before. We don't have as many gatekeepers. The journey from zero doesn't begin with a network or a mentor. It begins with a deep internal shift. It's a decision to become your own champion and your own guide and your own source of approval. Most important part, and it's built on 3 different pillars. First, you got to rewrite your internal script, the way that you're talking to yourself. Right now, your brain is probably running a story called I'm not ready, or who do I think I am? You have to consciously fire that writer in your mind. Start changing your self-talk. Instead of what if I fail, ask, what's the one tiny thing I can do today to move this thing forward? Instead of I'm not good enough, start believing the skills are built, not just given. See your dream as something that's not taking from your life, but as something that will add to your life. When you pursue something that lights you up, that's not selfish. You're modeling courage and passion for everyone around you, especially your kids. You're showing them what a fulfilled life actually looks like. Second, you have to create your own momentum. Momentum is the cure for fear. Fear loves stillness. It hates action, no matter how big or small. People think they need to take a huge dramatic leap. You don't. You just need a tiny shift. The goal at the beginning is not to go big. It's just to get moving. What does this look like? It's almost insultingly small. Don't write the book. Write 1 paragraph. Don't build a business. Research 1 competitor. Don't launch the podcast. Please. Record 1 episode. Make the first step so small you can't say you don't know how. Your brain loves to see progress. So, you have to celebrate these tiny wins. Each little action is a piece of evidence that you're a person who shows up. Keep an evidence log. Every day, write down 1 thing you did. 1 email, 1 article, 1 call. Some days, the entry might just be felt overwhelmed, but I didn't give up. That counts. This log becomes proof that you're not just standing still anymore. Third, you're going to become your own mentor. This just means You have to actively start to seek out wisdom for yourself. Become a voracious consumer of virtual mentors. Listen to podcasts, read biographies, watch interviews on YouTube, take online courses. You're not just consuming the content, you're hunting for frameworks and answers to specific problems. Then create a board of directors in your head. When you're stuck, ask them for advice. This can even be ChatGPT. Just brain dump, and then every time you have an issue, go to chat and ask it for advice. What would a writer that I admire write here? What would that entrepreneur do here? This isn't about copying. It's about using their perspective to break out of your own limited thinking. And most importantly, be a good mentor to yourself. This means you have to be disciplined, but you also have to be kind. You have to be the voice that says, okay, that didn't work, but what do we learn? Let's try something else. Because right now, that's the only voice that matters. If any of this is hitting home for you, if you ever felt that late night spark get washed away by morning doubt, do me a favor and hit the like button. It's a small click, but it tells everyone else watching that they aren't the only ones who feel this way. And if you're ready to stop waiting and start building, subscribe to this channel. We're going to be talking a lot more about how to create the life that you really want on your own terms. Once you become your own champion, something funny happens. You start radiating a different kind of energy, not desperation, but a quiet competence. This is when you can start building an external support system, but from a place of strength. You're not looking for someone to come and save you anymore. You're looking for people to run with. You trust yourself. First, shift your focus from finding a mentor to finding peers. You don't need someone 10 steps ahead of you right now. You need people on the same step. You need accountability partners. Surveys show that a huge chunk of entrepreneurs feel lonely. So finding a community isn't a luxury, it's a strategic move. Look for online groups of people trying to do the same thing as you. Facebook groups for mom entrepreneurs, Reddit forums for coders, local meetups for writers. The goal is empathy, not expertise. You need a place where you can say, I'm struggling with this, and have 3 people say, OMG, me too. Here's what I tried. Second, learn how to talk. Learn how to talk to your existing network, your family, your friends. This is not about asking them for permission. Honestly, they may never fully get what you're trying to do, and that has to be okay. It's about setting practical boundaries so you have the space to work. Instead of a vague, I'm trying to start this business, be specific. Say, I need 2 hours of uninterrupted time on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Can we make a plan for that? Or Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. are my protected work time. This frames your dream as a serious commitment and gives them a concrete way to support you without having to understand the entire vision. Finally, build a fortress of ruthless boundaries to protect your energy. Burnout is the #1 killer of dreams, especially when you're a team of one. Your energy is your company's most valuable asset. Protecting it isn't selfish, it's good business. This means learning to use that beautiful and powerful complete sentence. No. Say no to anything that drains you. Every yes to something that doesn't deserve your goal is a no to your dream. This will feel weird at first, maybe even a little hard, but you're not letting people down. Reallocating your most precious resources, your time and your energy, to the one thing that only you can build. We all been sold this myth of work-life balance. It's the idea that one day you'll achieve this perfect state of calm where your work, your family, and health all exist in perfect harmony. That's a lie, and a damaging one. Chasing balance will just make you feel like a failure because it's not real. A better and kinder goal is to find your rhythm. Think of your life less like a perfect photo and more like a dance. Sometimes the music is fast and you're pouring all your energy into one project. The house might get messy, the laundry might pile up. That's okay. Other times, the music is slow and you need to lean back into your relationships, and that's also okay. The key is to learn and listen to the music and be intentional about where your energy is going. Stop chasing a perfect static picture and instead learn to move gracefully between the different needs of your life. You give yourself permission to be unbalanced for a little while, knowing it's all a part of a longer term rhythm. This isn't a frantic sprint to the finish line. It's a marathon made up of many different speeds. That idea that keeps you up at night, It chose you for a reason. It saw a unique mix of experience, passion, and perspective that only you have. Not having a mentor or support system isn't a stop sign. It's your starting signal. It's a sign that you have become the person you've been waiting for. Look, this path ain't easy. It will ask for more than you think you even have to give. But living with the what if is so much heavier. The journey starts the second that you decide that your dream is worthy of the effort and that you're worthy of the dream. So take that first tiny step. Today, your future self is counting on it. You can click either one of these videos and keep hanging out with me right here on Life with Dia. If not, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.